Let's now cross live to SABC News reporter Ntlantla Kgatlhane outside Dr. Magubane's family home. Ntlantla, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Yesterday, in fact, we spoke to Dr. Magubane's daughter, who echoed a lot of what South Africans are currently now saying, that they will remember him as a very conscientious and hard-working man who played a pivotal role in our history. Just talk to us about who you have seen, just going to the family home and what is currently happening there now.
Well, indeed, a very good day to you, Unati. Like you already alluded to, that we are coming to you right here from the Magubane family house. The 90-year-old passed away yesterday, but what I can tell is that since our arrival here, we've managed to be welcomed by the family. And while we're seated inside the house, you could see that this is no ordinary man, whereby the daughter also took time to engage with us in terms of, the kind of person this legend was. I mean, he even narrated a story to us that, as selfless as he was, you would find that, when it came to the struggle, there was an incident whereby they were driving together as father and daughter, and he got a call, and immediately they were driving home. Immediately when he got that call, he just spoke to the daughter and said that, I have to rush somewhere, so you have to take a taxi and go home. That spoke to, the kind of this legend was. And also, Unati, speaking about Mr. Magubane, is that, the role that he has played using the camera lens to tell the story. We're not talking about an ordinary person who just physically fought, apartheid, but used the camera lens to, try and fight the injustices of apartheid, and also, to tell, the international or the globe about, the brutal apartheid system using the camera. But with me here, I'm with his manager, who has been with him for decades, Dave. Dave, talk to us with regards to, the kind of person that he was. I mean, you've spent a lot of time. You've had those moments whereby you guys just spoke about, life in general. I mean, it's said that this year turns 30 years. Our democracy turns 30 years. People are talking about, how it was not easy to attain democracy. People such as Mr. Magubane, for sure, you would speak about, things that were happening. Your fond memories of Ntate Magubane.
Well, first and foremost, he was an incredibly disciplined man, incredibly disciplined. He didn't rest on his laurels. He was hardworking. His career was first and foremost his passion. But he also had an incredible sense of humor. Just if you on an assignment with him, or you're doing a job with him, don't be late. Arrive on time. He didn't have time for people wasting his time. He was very strict, very strong, but had an incredible heart. I mean, to tap me on my shoulder and say all those years ago, come here, young man, I think I can work with you. I want to show you this country. And what a blessing, what a privilege it's been to walk side by side with him for the last 2 decades.
Talking about working with him and the kind of person he was, just take us through, the stories that you guys used to share when you were just relaxing and doing your work.
Well, we loved on the road. We loved listening to music. Often we'd be driving around the northern suburbs, and his dad was Magubane's dad was a fruit vendor, and he would tell me the stories of him accompanying his dad. His dad actually, incidentally, gave him his first camera, which was a Kodak Brownie, and he was very close with his father. His dad, Isaac, would take him around the northern suburbs, and we'd laugh because he'd always say to me he preferred going to the Afrikaner homes because he got gebakte brood and moer coffee, you'd call it. When he went to the English homes, they were very stingy. They gave him a thin piece of bread that he could lift up to the sky and he could see the sun through. So those are just the little anecdotes that we had along our travels. Many stories, documenting I was with him documenting all the cultures of South Africa, including the Afrikaner culture, which was his last project up until COVID. He was doing a full documentation of the Afrikaner culture in South Africa.
He's cut from a different cloth. I mean, he was there during the tough times of our country. He never tired. He reached 91. He passed away yesterday. Did you guys ever, speak about, how hard it was to document the brutal apartheid system, or rather to document what the brutal apartheid system did during those times?
He went through so much in those times, and I mean, he was detained. He has the record for solitary confinement, 586 days in solitary confinement. His friends and family killed. One of his children murdered in just before the elections, Charlie. But to come out of that without any hatred, without any loathing. He knew his job was to expose the evils of apartheid, and he did that exceptionally well. He showed the world how apartheid operates. But to come out of all that brutality, the beatings by police, and to not hate, to go and document the cultures the way he did, to show the beauty of South Africa post '94. And to take a white guy like me under his wing and say,
Thank you so much. Unathi, if you allow me, I'm just going to bring one of the people that he has also worked with closely. And Tate Muthibi Muthibi, sorry about that. You've worked with him. Just wrapping up, you worked with him. We've spoken a bit. Talk to us with the person he was. I mean, what has he done to liberate this country?
Well, I've known him for almost half a century. First, I admired him as a senior, and then when I joined journalism, I also worked with him, but I never knew that one day I would become his publisher. In 1996, we published his first of many books on June 16, Never, Never, Never Again. And then 28 years later, we were able to even produce a book of a portrait of Nelson Mandela, which was the last time we had an occasion where we celebrated his iconic contribution to journalism. The other part that is less known is the fact that he has a unique experience of being part of the media people who photograph the iconic Sophiatown.
All right, let's leave that interview there. That was our reporter Ntlantla Kgatlhane.